Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In our life, it's always important to always look after our loved ones. Actually, our relationships around us is our wealth. If we have good relationships, even we are rich or poor, we feel so much satisfied and we feel actually wealthy if we have good friends. And if we have poor relationships with the people around us, whatever material things that we have, we feel so poor. So, having wonderful connections to our loved ones means having good relationships. But if we don't know our status on them, we don't know what's our position in the relationships, it's going to be so hard. Same thing with Krishna. If we don't have a connection to Krishna, it's hard for us to build that relationship. We cannot just say, "Oh, I believe in God," and that's it. Or whatever happens, I know my God is there, then I'm protected. That's one thing, have a faith. But if we don't have a personal relationship with Krishna, sometimes people doesn't even know his name. It's gonna be too hard. Same goes with our relationship with our loved ones, our friends, family members, or partner. If you don't know your position or your actual label, it's gonna be hard and you feel so lost. So this is the lesson that we will tackle today in our Bhagavad Gita as it is. Let's read from chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, verse number 50. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. So, si Krishna is describing yoga here. Yoga is the art of all work daw. Ang galing ng description, di ba? It's not just gymnastic postures or mystical practices, but yoga is the art of all work. Bakit? Kasi yung yoga is the topmost way how to act in this world. And ano yung result nun? Kapag nagkaroon ng karma yoga or bhakti yoga, which is yung actions connected kay Krishna, ang result nun, pati yung good karma and bad karma, mawawala. So, we are discussing actually yung ladders of yoga. At first, Krishna was discussing yung karma yoga, which is the activities, but not connected kay Krishna, and which yields good and bad karma. Ito nga daw yung flowery words of the Vedas. So pag narinig niyo yung flowery words of the Vedas, it means karma yoga yon. Kasi lahat naman ng activities is written sa Vedas. Kung ano yung actions and reactions. Bakit flowery words? Kasi maraming nahuhumaling, maraming na-attract dito. Because may good karma. Oh, when you do this, you will have this kind of karma. You will have this kind of reactions, this kind of wonderful life in your next lives. Or mapupunta ka sa ganitong status, just like magiging aristocratic ka or magiging demigods ka. By just these small actions, kapag na-please mo yung brahmanas or napag-donate ka ng something sa mga poor, philanthropic activities, ito yung magiging reaction mo. Hindi mo nga daw kailangan mag-work hard talaga para maging todo mayaman. Kailangan mo lang maging smart paano gawin yon. Di ba? Very attractive. Very attractive. Very flowery actually. Pero it is advised not to follow this kasi hindi naman talaga yun yung purpose ng Vedas. Slowly but surely, we must go sa ating real goal, which is yoga, connection kay Krishna. So, bakit nasa Vedas to? Para magkaroon ng gradual elevation yung mga souls. May guidelines pa rin yung mga tao. Pero hindi natin kailangan maging stuck dito. Kasi lahat naman tao kaya gawin yung karma yoga. Yung karma kanda. What we need is karma yoga. So, lahat ng actions natin, madaftil natin kay Krishna. Sa chapter na to, it was discussed or mentioned yung Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, which is actually the same. But actually, kapag ginawa tong karma yoga na to, hindi lang purifications ng bad karma yung mawawala. Pati yung good karma. So I'm very sorry kapag nagka-chan tayo. Pati yung mga pious activities mo ginawa last lives, nawawala. Nawawala yung swerte. Kaya yung devotees minsan, ayoko muna mag-practice ng spiritual life kasi nawawala yung passion ko sa arts, nawawala yung passion ko sa music, yung drive ko sa trabaho. Tapos parang nawawala na yung swerte ko. Kasi pati yung good karma nawawala. Why? Kasi lahat yon magiging cause ng ating next lives. Yes, pwedeng maging yung good karma is because of philanthropic activities, magkaroon ng mga wonderful things sa next lives natin, such as aristocratic families, wealth, magkaroon ka rin ng beautiful form, beautiful face, power, influence, fame, or even going to the other heavenly planets. Lahat yung mga yun good karma. And lahat yung mawawala daw kapag nag-practice ng Bhakti Yoga. Hindi lang bad karma. So, this is the real purification. Hindi lang yung bad karma yung nawawala. Kasi, yung next lives is nare-reduce. Meaning, yung next chance na magkaroon ka pa ng more bodies in the future, nare-reduce yun. Kasi hindi naman natin talaga gusto magpaikot-ikot dito. Magkaroon ng maraming lives sa cycle of birth and death. Ang goal is to exit this samsara. To exit this material world. To go back home, back to Godhead. So yoga means to concentrate the mind kay Krishna. To act according sa instructions niya and maging conscious kay Krishna para ma-break daw yung chain of cycle ng birth and death. Text 51. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. So this is the ultimate goal and ultimate way to get rid of all miseries, to go back home, back to Godhead. There's a verse mentioned in the purport, if you would read this. Two kinds, parampadam saka padam-padam. Parampadam means place where there are no material miseries or no anxieties. Diba, ang sarap pumunta sa lugar na hindi ka mag-worry. Hindi ka magkaroon ng anxiety. This is called Vaikuntha. Kaya yung goal natin is magkaroon tayo ng environment na walang miseries, walang anxieties. Hindi mo feel yung worries. This is true kapag ginawa mo yung life mo, fit mo yung life mo into a spiritual practice. You have your sadhana, your morning routine, you have your chanting, you have your reading, and maybe doing your dharma, material dharma, working or doing the business, taking care of the needs ng family members. At the end, sa-sandwich natin yung life and yung day natin with more spiritual activities. In this way, even though living here, we are experiencing the Vaikuntha atmosphere. Much more if we surround ourselves with devotees. So parang binaba mo yung Vaikuntha sa material world. That's the purpose of temples. Para ma-feel mo yung Vaikuntha atmosphere. It is much more conducive to perform Bhakti Yoga, to perform sadhana, to perform the real bhajan, to chant, to hear. Otherwise, kapag wala ng mga ganong factors, magiging padam-padam, which means danger in every step. Sabi nga, this world is dangerous in every step. Bakit? Lahat ng gagawin natin could produce different reactions. Kasi actions yun eh. Means may equivalent na reactions. Every action may equivalent na reactions. Ito yung karma, kanda. And hindi mawawala to. Hindi maiwasan to. Hindi porket, hindi ako aware about karma, kanda, walang reactions. No. Those who are ignorant of the law are still subjected na i-follow yon or sa punishment kapag di nila na-follow yon. A person from the province na walang road signs and stop lights, kapag nag-cross sila ng road sa busy street or busy city, nag-jaywalking sila, pag nahuli sila, hindi nila pwedeng sabihin, galing ako sa province, hindi ko alam yung ganitong law. Subjected pa rin sila nun. Or kapag di sila nahuli, kapag na-aksidente sila, hindi naman pwedeng, hindi sila masagasaan nung dumadaan na vehicles. Because hindi nila alam yung law. Same thing with the law of nature, the law of karma. Kaya danger in every step. May gawin kang ganito, ito yung magiging reactions niya. Take for example, consuming meat. Kahit yung bata hindi alam yung meat eating is a great sin or will produce great reactions. Bata pa naman kasi. But no. May equivalent yon. Kung ano yung kind of animals na napatay and portions and gano'ng kadami din yung kinain is magkakaroon ng karma. Hindi lang yung nag-consume nung meat na yon. Kung sino nag-serve, sino nag-prepare, sino nag-transport, sino yung mismong pumatay nung animal, sino yung may-ari ng slaughterhouse, and so on. Lahat sa chain na yon para ma-produce yung food na yon is involved or accomplished dun sa crime. Even though they don't know. So ito yung material world. Danger in every step. May gawin tayo na mag-hurt sa ibang animals or sa nature or sa ibang tao na hindi na tayo aware unknowingly natin magawa yun, may equivalent na reactions. So ito kaya yung material world is called padam-padam. Danger in every step. So even ignorant yung isang tao, hindi siya makakatakas dito. That's why we are studying yung scripture so we know. So we know what to follow, what not to follow. It was mentioned here by Prabhupada as well that one who understands his real constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead, engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So kapag alam natin yung position natin as the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, automatic alam natin yung position ni Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So knowing yung dharma natin is to become a servant means there is someone to serve. And alam dapat natin na yung relationship natin is to serve Krishna and with loving mood. Kailangan alam mo yung label na yon. We are servants of Krishna. And si Krishna is serve and kailangan yung service natin with love. So, three process. The relationship, yung goal natin and yung process para ma-reach yung goal. In Sanskrit, it's called Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana. So if we don't know that label, magiging lost lang tayo sa buhay. Magiging lost lang din tayo sa spiritual practice natin. Or in this material world. Hindi natin alam kung paano mag-act. So take for example, yung child, dapat alam niya yung label niya as a child ng parents niya. Kahit na lumaki na yung child, maging friendly relationships na sila, pero alam pa rin niya yung position niya as a child kasi may kakaroon pa rin siya dapat ng respect sa parents niya. Or even yung parents niya is not perfect, dapat may respect pa rin. Ganun din sa brothers and sisters, ganun din sa friends, dapat alam natin yung kung paano tayo makipag-deal sa friends. Ganun din sa lovers, of course. Kailangan may alam nila yung label nila. Hindi pwedeng so-called lovers lang that they don't have relationships. Otherwise, they're just playing around. There's no rules to follow. So, hindi rin mabibuild yung faith. In the newer generation, nagiging ganito yung trend, no? Walang label yung relationships. Because people are afraid of commitments. They don't want to follow such things kasi hindi sila faithful. Much more, they don't control their senses. So whatever happens, they just want to enjoy, not exclusively. They just want to play around. So ano yung results nun? Much more reactions. Much more depressions kasi walang real relationship. And mas na-hurt nila yung mga feelings ng bawat isa because they're not serious. Sadly, this is what's happening around us. Everything is just, a play, a game to everyone. In spiritual life, we have to be really, really serious, but also performing our duties joyfully. Serious in a way na hindi natin hayaan masira yung relationships natin kay Krishna or sa devotees, sa ating guru or sa ating mentors or sa other equals natin. Because we know that they are very important kay Krishna. Sabi nga, if you love a person, love their dog. So, kaya tayo, servant of the servant of the servant. We want to serve those who are close kay Krishna. There's a saying kapag devotee ka ni Krishna, meron kang dog collar. Ito isang definition ng tulasi neck beads. Dog collar mo yan. Di ba yung mga dogs, kapag may amo sila, meron silang collars. Yung mga street dogs, wala silang collar. Ayun yung neck beads natin. Bukod of course na pure devotee si Srimati Tulasi Devi. Bukod sa pure devotee na gusto natin association niya, ayun daw yung symbol or sign na devotee tayo ni Krishna or surrendered tayo kay Krishna. We're dogs of Krishna. To know one's constitutional position means to know also the sublime position of Krishna, of the Lord. One who wrongly thinks that the living entity's position and the Lord's position are on the same level is to be understood to be in darkness. Kapag di mo alam yung relationship mo with the Supreme, feeling mo equal ka lang din the Supreme. Di ba yung ibang Mayavad, I'm also God. I'm doing myself to become God. Darkness daw talaga yung pupunta nun. Which is really true. Aside sa karma, yung mindset is different. Very depressing. Feeling mo magiging God ka, pero hindi mo magawa yung mga bagay-bagay. Sumasakit yung ngipin mo, may sakit ka sa katawan. Diba? You don't know how to pay the bills because walang money. Diba? What kind of God is that? So yeah, ang ganda ng comment. Yeah, we have to always wear tulasi neck beads. Good association nga sa we are associating with Srimati Tulasi Devi. So at least we have association with pure devotee. Actually, si Tulasi Devi is one of the personalities na alive, very alive ngayon physically. Kasi andyan siya as the Tulasi, holy plant. So nakakasama natin siya. Yung um, branch or twigs or part ng tulasi na yun is nagiging nagwits natin. Text 52. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. So, this is this means in dense forest is the delusion or the material miseries, material illusion. Very dense daw yung forest na to. Kasi mahirap mag-pass. Mahirap makawala. An example na binanggit sa purport, yung mga devotees of Krishna, indifferent daw sila sa mga rituals ng Vedas. Rituals of Vedas, again, going back, ito yung flowery words of the Vedas. Ito yung mga karma kanda activities. Do this austerity for you to gain this kind of wealth. Do this penance para magkaroon ka ng ganitong karma, maging demigod ka in the future, or magkakaroon ka ng ganitong wealth in the future, or beautiful face and body. So mga flowery words to. Kapag devotee daw, indifferent na dito. Means, hindi na siya attracted. Hindi na siya nakafocus doon. Actually, wala nga siyang pakialam sa mga ganitong bagay. Kasi, alam niya yung essence ng Vedas, which is to serve Krishna. That's why the most important book sa lahat ng Vedic literature is the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because ito yung essence ng scriptures. Hindi mo na kailangan basahin, aralin lahat yon, step by step. Binigay na ni Krishna sa atin automatic kung ano yung nectar ng Vedic literature. Actually, sinabi rin sa Vedas na if one is chanting the holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he is already on that platform na inaral na niya in the previous lives yung Vedas. Hindi kaya nandito na siya. Or, we could also be on the status or mindset na kaya tayo nandito is because nabigyan tayo ng mercy ng mga devotees. Kaya hindi natin kailangan daanan itong mga to. So, hindi natin kailangan maligaw ng landas. Even though wala tayo sa magandang position, yung belief natin wala tayo sa magandang position now, pero you know the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you know the purports and the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita, we are better than thousands. It's very rare na may tao na gusto mag-practice ng Krishna consciousness compared to millions, billions, or trillions of living entities. So we are in the position na may privilege tayo to practice devotional service. Hindi natin kailangan maligaw pa. Kaya kailangan natin ng guide in studying or practicing Krishna consciousness. Para we don't have a lot of wasted time doon lang sa mga flowery words or ligaw na practice lang sa Vedas. What more pa yung outside the Vedic literature, the Vedic culture. Ang daming kung ano-anong practices, kung ano-anong, lalo na yung mga new age na mga practices ngayon na so-called connected sa Vedas. Some actually are from the Vedas, but these are, ito yung mga karma kanda sections. Magandang prayer yung sinabi dito sa purport. He was praying to, O baiting, O demigods, or forefathers. Ang galing ng baiting. Ito kasi ito yung mga activities and penance and austerities to bait in different sacred places. And the demigods and yung mga forefathers. Nagadasal siya na he will never or will not be able to serve them kasi nagka-serve na siya kay Krishna and he thinks that's sufficient. Which is true. We just need to be a servant of Krishna and His devotees. Kahit di ka na mag-worship ng demigods, ng forefathers, or ng different elements. We see in the modern age, nag-worship sila ng elements. They worship the fire, they worship the sun, or they worship the demigods. In our culture sa Philippines, our ninuno ancestors are worshiping the ancestors. These are because of the reasons na gusto nila ng mga material gains, gusto nila ng protections, gusto nila ng mm, yung mga ancestors nila ipanganak sa mga descendants din nila because of attachment. Huwag kayong lumayo, dito lang kayo. Ang hirap nun kasi ay yung mga dinadasal nila, di ba? Ipanganak ka sa mga descendants namin. Yeah. When I was younger, I traveled a lot sa mga different tribes sa north. Tapos tinatanong ko sila, bakit ganito yung ginagawa niyo? Ba't kayo kumakain ng manok? And may mga rituals kayo bago patayin yung mga animals or kumakain sila ng dogs. Ganito yung reasons. Ba't sila nag-worship sa ancestors para nga daw panganak sa mga anak or apo nila. Yung mga ninuno nila. And for them to protect them. Tapos nag-worship sila sa demigods para mag-provide ng ulan, ng sun, di ba? Para yung tinanim nila tumubo. So these are all material activities. Hindi siya spiritual. Hindi mo siya matatawag na spiritual activities. Material pa rin siya. So practicing Krishna consciousness means being indifferent to this. Because when you chant Krishna's name, when you serve Krishna, mag-go beyond na dito. And last text, when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. So realization ng Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These are the three aspects to know Krishna. The light, the impersonal light, that's Krishna then, pero going beyond. Knowing Krishna from within, the Paramatma, and knowing Krishna as the Bhagavan, which is ito yung inaral natin. Knowing Krishna as the Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a Supreme Person. So having that relationship kay Krishna, personally, malalaman natin kung paano tayo mag-act sa mundong to. Paano tayo mag-pray kay Krishna kasi kilala natin siya, alam natin yung gusto sa akin, hindi niya gusto. Kung paano tayo mag-act as a servant. Or, depende sa relationship, as a friend ka ba ni Krishna, as the parent ni Krishna, or the lover ni Krishna, or a servant ni Krishna, we should know how to act. So these are called the rasa. Ayan yung kanyang name ni Rasa Rani, di ba? The rasa kay Krishna. Kaya may guidelines to. Sa introduction pala ng Bhagavad Gita, it was mentioned. Knowing that label na tayo yung servant of the servant of the servant ni Krishna. And ganun din sa mga devotees. We are the servant of the devotees. That's why we call them Prabhus and Matajis. Because we want to be always in the mood of lovingly serve them, in the mood of a servant. In our daily interactions with other people, ganun din. We should know kung ano yung label natin sa kanila. Di tayo pwedeng maging lost lang. You don't know how to act, what to expect. Si Krishna wants to always be connected to us more than we want to be connected to Him. So having that loving relationship kay Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. The best thing is to always chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Praying to have loving relationship and also praying magkaroon ng privilege to lovingly serve Krishna and His devotees. That is the label na gusto natin magkaroon. To have the dasa, to have the Devi Dasi sa life natin, sa practice natin, even sa name natin. Thank you very much, my dear ones. That is No Label in Relationships episode natin. Very important kasi kailangan natin malaman yung eternal position natin as the servant of Krishna, as the eternal servant of the devotees. In that way, we will be situated sa buhay natin. We know kung ano yung dapat natin gawin and we know kung ano yung goal natin sa buhay na hindi maligaw sa mga material offerings ni Maya, but to dedicate our lives, our time, and our endeavor sa service kay Krishna. This is very true. Kasi this is a guidance to be inspired para maging servant of the servant of the servant.